Heyo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Matthew Maley for MatthewMaley.com. As you can tell, we are back on the couch. It is time for another weekly movie review where I check out a new release that just came out, let you know my opinion of it, and tell you whether it's worth seeing or not, in my humble opinion. So as you guys know, I've been trying to check out all of the Academy Award nominated movies. I always do. I like to see what the Academy feels are the best movies that have come out. I also like to compare it with how I feel. And this week I was able to add another one to the list. I'm speaking of The Descendants, which stars George Clooney, Shailene, it's either Shailene or Shailene, I apologize, Woodley, Amara Miller, Nick Krause, as well as kind of an extended cameo from Matthew Lillard, who's somebody I've always liked ever since Scream. I always thought he was pretty funny. And Judy Greer, who I think is actually a pretty solid actress, and I love her from Archer, which is one of the best shows on TV. If you don't watch Archer, what are you doing? What are you doing with your life? Watch Archer. So good. As well as there's kind of an extended cameo by surf legend Laird Hamilton, which I thought was kind of funny. He's, a Hawaii legend, and since the movie does take place in Hawaii, I thought it was kind of cool they gave him a little bit of a little shout out, if you will. So the movie follows George Clooney's character, as well as his family. But George Clooney plays Matt King, who is a descendant of literally the king and queen of Hawaii back in the day, and is one of the most well-known and most powerful men in all of Hawaii. He is a lawyer, but he also is the only trustee, the sole trustee of a land parcel that is on the island of Oahu and is truly a slice of heaven. The scene that the expanse that they use to represent this parcel of land, I wouldn't even build a house there. I just live on that. I'd live in the trees. It's so beautiful. But they have found out that, this land was given down generation after generation after generation, and it had always been held by his family. Really, they'd held even more than that, but sold some off through the years, because they were the original descendants of the king and queen, so they had tons of land. Well, some new anti-monopoly trust law came through, and they are being forced to sell within 7 years. And even though he's the sole trustee, he doesn't get all the money. The money then gets broken down to all his multiple cousins, which there's probably 20 or 30 at least, which are all distant relatives as well, and also descendants, so they all get their share of the money. And that's where the beginning of the movie really focuses on. You have this going back and forth with some of the cousins don't want to sell. Some of them, even though they technically have to. Some of them want to sell, but they want to sell to the biggest offer, which is for $1 billion. Another, company, or another group of the cousins want to sell to a local guy. And it's interesting to see, just at the beginning of parts of the movie, the public influence as well. Everywhere that Matt goes, George Clooney's character goes, somebody has their 2 cents. They feel that you should do this because they have family on Oahu and da-da-da-da. Or they think that you should do this because it'll stimulate the economy, da-da-da-da-da. So it's interesting to see, how literally everybody gives their 2 cents. But at the end of the day, this decision falls solely to George Clooney's character. So while he's attempting to run a legal practice, as well as possibly broker the biggest deal in the history of Hawaii, probably, he then gets the terrible news that his wife was thrown from the boat in a boating accident and is in a coma and is essentially on life support. She is unable to breathe on her own, but the machines are keeping her alive. So obviously, that just adds to all this he's already dealing with. And he then reaches out and brings his oldest daughter back to the home island. She had been off at a boarding school. Apparently, she'd been giving some trouble to her mother, who's now in a coma. So she was sent to a boarding school. Well, she's played by Shailene Woodley. The younger daughter is played by Amara Miller, and really, Shailene Woodley's character adds a lot of like the spunk and excitement to the family circle that George Clooney's character is lacking. George Clooney's character is much more of a level-headed, thought-out, step-by-step type of person, where Shailene Woodley's character, her character's name is Alexandra, is to speak in her mind, saying what she feels. She's going to call you out. She doesn't care the ramifications of it. She's going to say what she wants. While the youngest daughter kind of adds a level of innocence to the overall feeling as well of the family unit. So those are really that's the core of the family, as well as Shailene Woodley, Alexandra's boyfriend, friend, Sid, who plays the most stereotypical surfer. What's up, bro? Yeah, let's go surf, bro. Yeah, bro. All right, dude. Like, totally stereotypical surfer. And is essentially along for the ride, trying to support Alexandra's character. So, pretty quickly on, after a rather difficult conversation, we find out that, in fact, his wife is not going to be getting better. While everybody thinks that, and everybody's, trying to keep positive, George Clooney finds out that, in fact, she's not going to be getting better. And she has in her will, essentially, do not resuscitate order, and also saying that she does not want to be kept alive on machines. So then comes the very difficult task of not only telling his daughter this, but also having to tell everybody close to her. When just recently he's been telling everybody that, no, nothing's changed, everything's still good, we're hoping she pulls through. So that's where the real meat of the movie comes in. Watching each relative getting the news and how they broach the subject with each one. Some of them they do a different way than others, and so on and so forth. Then we find out the reason why, during a conversation in which George Clooney is pretty much saying, be nice to your mother, she's going to die. We then find out that the reason that they sent her away in the first place was because they got in a huge fight over the fact that George Clooney's wife, her mother, was having an affair. And that's when the story takes a 180, well, not a 180, but it goes about 90 degrees, and now we go off onto that topic. And that's what really closes off the movie. That's really the climax of the movie. When they then build into trying to locate this guy, if he even wants to locate this guy, if he feels he should locate this guy, to either beat him up, confront him, ask him questions, or simply find out if he wants to say goodbye to her. So it really brings up a whole lot of feelings that I really can't imagine. I mean, already having that amount of stress on your plate, then finding out that your wife is going to die, then finding out that your wife's been cheating on you, and now trying to decide, how you deal with it. Oh, it's crazy. And that's where George Clooney's performance really does shine through. George Clooney is one of the best actors of my generation. That's well known. I mean, everything he's been in, he does a great job in. Even if it's not a great movie, he does a great job in it. I mean, I hated The American. Thought it was one of the lamest flicks ever. And, well, I'm not even going to go into the specifics, but whatever. But he was great in it. I mean, I loved him in Ides of March. Just, go back about 4 weekly movie reviews, you'll see that. Can't tell you how much I loved him in the Ocean's trilogy, From Dusk to Dawn, Michael Clayton. I mean, the guy's a beast. When it comes to acting, George Clooney is incredible. And he really, really holds up to his legacy in this flick as well. He truly is very, 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 very good. And makes this movie. It is the reason this movie was a good movie was because of him. When the main climax of the movie, and I'm not really giving anything away because one thing I will say is the movie was somewhat predictable, and so I don't feel that I'm giving anything away by this. But the best scene in the movie, without a doubt, is when George Clooney's character finally locates the man that his wife has been cheating with, played by Matthew Lillard from Scream fame, and he then confronts him. And that scene alone is so good. The back and forth dialogue and George Clooney's antics and the way he, even his intonation on some of the words is just so well done. And that was the scene that really took it, from my opinion, from being a 3-star movie to almost a 4-star movie. I wouldn't say it's a full 4-star movie, but it's pretty close. I would say see the movie just for that scene even. At the end of the day, I do feel that it was a worth seeing movie. It's not one I'll ever watch again. It's not one I'm going to add to my collection. And to be quite honest, I was kind of surprised that it got nominations for Film of the Year. It didn't have that Film of the Year feel to me. Usually you can watch a movie and know that's going to win something. You know, whether it be Crash, Mystic River, 21 Grams, 25th Hour, American History X, Fight Club. There's just certain movies that you can just tell that the performances in them are so worthy of Academy Awards. And while I thought George Clooney's performance was amazing, I don't think that the movie was worth the nomination. I definitely think George Clooney, I'm good with that, but I don't personally feel that the nomination for Best Movie was warranted. Again, just my opinion. Overall, what do I give it? I'm going to, just for the sake of rounding up, and so I don't say 3.75, which is what I really want to, I will give it 4 stars. But, as I know you guys know, usually when I say 4 stars, that means I'm going to buy the movie. I will not be buying this movie. I won't be watching it again. I really probably won't even recommend it to my friends that much. Is it worth $2 at Blockbuster? Yes, it is. That it is. I'll give you that. Is it worth much more than that? To me, no. And possibly if you've read her book, I think it's her, the author originally did the book, possibly you'll like it more. I don't know. But for me, it was a great character study. But at the end, I just kind of felt, okay. And then, so it did win for Best Adapted Screenplay. So I don't know, maybe the book was great and they did a great job at adapting it. I don't know. For me personally, having not read the book, I didn't think the movie was that wonderful. I thought it was a good movie. Didn't think it was that wonderful. So, at the end of the day, there you go. There's my 15 cents. Matthew Maley for MatthewMaley.com as always. So thank you. Much, much appreciated for checking out my videos. Stay tuned every Friday. You got a new weekly movie review popping up. So, as always, come check your boy out. Of course, you can always follow your boy on Twitter at Matthew Maley. Search for your page and like it up on Facebook. Search for Matthew Maley Poker. Of course, MatthewMaley.com, as well as my YouTube channel, which is Matthew Maley Poker. So, until the next video, which should be popping up here pretty soon, I will say, definitely check out the rest of my videos. And as always, thank you very much. I've been getting lots of comments lately, lots of new subs, lots of people following me. So, thank you guys. I couldn't be doing it without you. And seriously, if you haven't been staying tuned to MatthewMaley.com lately, I'm telling you, add it to your favorites because crazy things are going to be popping off this summer. It's not official yet, so I don't want to put the video out there, but some big things are going to be happening soon, and I want you guys to be the first to find out about it. So, till the next video, I am officially signing off. Matthew Maley from MatthewMaley.com. Peace out, y'all.